Well, we're still learning more about who James Loren Brown was, but people who live just a few doors down say they barely heard from him. Chris Sadeghi spoke to some neighbors and about Brown.
Well, everything was happening right here. Brown lived at this apartment complex. It is literally a 2-minute walk away from where Esme Barrera was killed down here on King Street. But even those people who were living right next to Brown say they had no idea that his face was the one in all of those sketches. We talked to some neighbors late last night who said they'd seen Brown, but that he kept mostly to himself. Police say he was a Navy veteran who worked at a restaurant on Lady Bird Lake. After that news spread, we got some feedback from former co-workers at the restaurant was the IHOP on Cesar Chavez. When we asked management, they said they could not comment since it was an ongoing investigation. However, we did talk to one co-worker who said he was a very hard worker, very polite, very nice, never suggested anything like this was possible. Brown lived in Austin for about a year and a half and at this apartment on Guadalupe since the summer. Mark Cutin lives 5 units down the hall and says people were suspicious when crime scene vehicles started showing up a few weeks ago, but had no idea why.
It didn't cross my mind that anyone remotely resembling that face lived in this apartment complex.
Now, we did a search for all records concerning Brown and found very little to go on, but Police Chief Art Acevedo says they will look at some of his electronic items, cell phones, computers, to see if they can find any more evidence that will shut this case and prove beyond a reasonable doubt that he is Esme Barrera's killer. We're live in Central Austin. Chris Sadeghi, KXAN News.
Thank you, Chris. Online right now at KXAN.com, we've set up a timeline of all of the attacks. You can see it for yourself. Just look under the top stories tab.